Good evening, ladies, gents. Piotr here. This is Light Forex Global YouTube channel. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. We are post US cash close ahead of the Tokyo Open. It's my pleasure to be with you. It was FOMC day. I did expect a little bit bigger fireworks, but overall, the scenario we were trying to draw worked out quite well, right? But before we'll go and check the details, a risk warning, guys, as usual. Please bear in mind, trading on margin carries a high level of risk, may not be suitable for investors. You can sustain a loss of some or all initial investment, so please do not invest money you cannot afford to seek education, then gain experience before risking real money. However, past performance doesn't guarantee future results. Okay, so let's start with the tech index. Let's start with the Nasdaq. If you do remember, we have a plan. Well, I've been looking for at least stop count above previous week high, but the big BS we got from the Fed, Powell, well, if you remember a few months back, I've been commenting one of his press conferences, and I said he was so scary that it was not possible not to scare the market. And looks like it was similar situation today. He was trying to, maneuver. He was within one sentence, he was saying something different, with another one saying something different. Well, we are going to get back to the statement and press conference after the Nasdaq description and possible scenarios. So, what is going on here? Still, don't forget we have quadruple witches on Friday, and well, something for me looks like outside day, right? But taking into the consideration what we've seen already this year, I'm not gonna be surprised if the market is going to attack this 11,550, right, to take these stops and to try to retest levels close to 11,750, 11,800, based on what we discussed, what we've seen late February, beginning of the May, right? Now, without this scenario, taking into the consideration just current price action, right? Just current price action and what we've seen today, of course, over the course of the Tokyo session, we might see retest of the weekly open, and that was very significant, right? And we might see attempt to go higher to try to build the swing high, and eventually we might not see the scenario we've seen late February, beginning of the March. So what I'm looking for, well, I want to see 24 hours. So probably I want to see tomorrow the cash market to decide what to do with indices. Doesn't look good. Nasdaq doesn't like what Powell said. Overall doesn't look good, but central bankers are printing enough, all right, to keep the party going. Now we have to talk about the statement and press conference. So overall, Federal Reserve keeps Fed funds range unchanged at 0 to 0.25. So overall, no change. Voted 8-2 for the Fed funds rate action. Overall financial conditions have improved in recent months. Fed will maintain assets buying at the current pace. Here, I think it was not accident that it was somewhere in the middle. virus to weigh on economy both short and long term. Fed will maintain low rates until job inflation goals meet. But then, few sentences later, he said that temporarily we might see inflation above 2.5, if I'm not mistaken, right? So the Fed projections no rise in Fed funds rate through at least 2023. So in other words, no earlier than 2024, right? The only thing here is, and of course that's a long-term perspective. It's nothing related to the day trading, nothing related to the very short-term, short frame. It's inflation, right? Everyone is so sure that we are not going to see inflation out of the control. Well, okay, let's get back to that discussion within next year. Kaplan, Kashkari voted against monetary policy action. All right. And during the press conference, Powell says seeing signs of improvement in business investment. Improvement, and I'm going to get back. Few lines later, next question, he answers, he said, outlook for the economy is extraordinarily uncertain. Overall, economic activity remains well below pre-pandemic levels and path remains uncertain. Of course, they are ready to use a full range of tools. Based on the Powell comments, Fed asset purchases have been effective. Fed guidance very strong, very powerful. Policy accommodative until recovery very far along. More fiscal support likely to be needed. Right? So that was really, he was, as I mentioned before, he was trying to, navigate, but he scared market. But when he was talking about this possible inflation, and I couldn't find the line here. Well, guys, something have to confirm because he mentioned that it could be temporarily above 2. Then dollar started to rise. All right, so what has happened? As discussed, I do prefer horizontal lines. I've been looking for a stop count above yesterday double top, right? I've been looking for retest of 1920 or 1960 and then to fade the rally. Didn't materialize. It didn't materialize. Market was going higher Monday, Tuesday, been rejected yesterday, trying today, so looks like it might be midweek reversal in play. But as I mentioned, for me, euro dollar for now range, and as of now range got the chance to prevail to the upside and to the downside. Upside 1960 120, downside 1720 17. That's how I see the things when it comes to the euro dollar. Of course, details from the intraday perspective, we are going to make the comment each day doing the update. Next one, cable. That was good. That was good. Okay, I didn't get the levels been waiting for 3020, 3080. It might happen tomorrow during Bank of England, but I'm going to prepare another update ahead of the Bank of England. But during the announcement, I've been shorting, and you can of course check my activity Don't forget there are 3 different strategies. Short term doing well, medium long term not doing that well. All in one, sorry about that. But anyway, you can check it, right? So I've been shorting. I left with small exposure towards the Bank of England tomorrow. We will see. Now, the rally towards the levels we discussed cannot be ruled out, right? Because we quiet didn't get hit and finish the business when it comes to the swing high, as well as we quiet didn't retest the levels of the last demand, both broken, right? So cannot rule it out. We are going to see the retest of the levels we discussed today, yesterday, and day before yesterday, right? 3020, 3080, and then we might see the sell-off to resume. Based on what I've seen during the announcement and press conference, I've been from the short-term perspective trying to fade. I did it. It was like few pips here, few pips there. Short-term, looking for retest of the levels close to 29 over the course of the Tokyo session and London session tomorrow, and monitor closely Bank of England. So hopefully that's gonna materialize the way I would like to see. If you do believe that the pound is going to lose the ground from here and it's not gonna retest the levels we discussed, so this particular candle, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, I strongly encourage you to visit the education playlist, where I'm talking about the powerful candles, right? Where I'm talking about the one powerful candle, and that's what we've seen today. And after the FOMC, we broke through the low, right? So, in my opinion, during the Tokyo session, there is a chance. Let me this equal move and do like this. There is a chance that the market may want to react here, right, based on this possible broken demand. Now should work as a supply. Of course, we've seen the rejection during the Powell press conference and a few pips to the downside. We're trying to get back here. Looks like the bulls are fighting for some kind of a daily close and some manipulation through this period after the US cash close before the Tokyo Open. If you are a buyer, then in my opinion, it's gonna be the challenge, right? But the only thing for me is again retest of this broken swing high, as we've already seen and we discussed. And I already said that I congratulate to those brave traders who were trading long side, right? Or we've moved back above 31, retest 3080, continuation to the upside. All right? That's how I see the things when it comes to the pound. And of course, I'm going to make the update when it comes to the pound tomorrow ahead of the Bank of England, right? So overall, dollar reacted the good way, okay, but ranges prevails. So we still inside the ranges. Now we do have busy calendar when it comes to the Tokyo session, all right? We have New Zealand GDP as well as Australian job market and Japanese monetary policy statement out of the Bank of Japan. All right, so that's gonna be quite interesting. When it comes to Kiwi dollar and GDP, taking into the consideration where we are from the daily chart perspective, right? So we are right here, right now at supply. So I'm looking to sell with the stop above this high. My first target is gonna be that low with the stop count, maybe somewhere close to 68.25, 68. That's Kiwi dollar, right? Australian dollar, we discussed twice, today and yesterday, all right? So let's get back to the Japanese yen and US dollar, right? I'm looking to fade any kind of the rally as discussed towards yesterday low, all right? That's the first thing first. And also I'm looking to fade any kind of the rally when it comes to pound yen. In that case, I want to have double kick, meaning I'm going to wait for Bank of England. I would like to see this type of the same distance to the upside and from here lower towards 132.50 and 130. With that being said, next 24-48 hours very busy, and the cherry on the top of the cake, Friday, quadruple witches. Don't be trapped during the Tokyo session. It was my pleasure to be with you. Take care, good night, see you around.